Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
After 14 straight games against the American League West and not a whole lot of success, the Tigers are back at it against the Central tonight. 18-10 is their record within the division. Hopefully that bodes well for the ball club here tonight. We are in Chicago on a nice night for baseball. Welcome to U.S. Cellular Field. It is game one of this three-game series featuring the Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for game one in this series. The Tigers, good numbers against the Central, Rod, and maybe that's just what the doctor ordered to get them going again.
You know, not only do they have really good numbers against the Central this year, but the last 4 years they've kind of beat up on the division, and they desperately need a win here tonight. Hopefully they go out and play a really clean game against the White Sox team that's kind of underachieving.
All right, now when these two teams meet, we always talk about the two anchors of the respective lineups. We'll start with Jose Abreu for the Chicago White Sox. Again, another really good season, but since coming to the big leagues, really, really good numbers.
Not only does he have good numbers against the league, but he's worn out Tigers pitching, whether it be in Michigan or whether it be right here. This guy's got power to all fields. He can drive the ball out to left field. He also drives the ball out to right field. He also hits 300, which means he takes the lousy singles the opposite way. 45 home runs since coming to the movies. He's driven in 139, so he's done major damage, not only against the Tigers, but he's done major damage against a lot of people. Kyle Ryan, the starter for the Tigers tonight, should stay away from Abreu. Anytime he comes up when runners in scoring position, just don't pitch to him.
All right, now speaking of not pitching to him, 10 intentional walks this year for Miguel Cabrera. That leads the American League, but sooner or later you got to pitch to him. He anchors the Tigers lineup.
Well, he's the one guy, too, that makes his team go. When the team struggles, and when it has struggled in the past, there has been Miggy to pick the team up. This is what Miggy has done since last year, and really you could mirror those numbers since him coming to the big leagues in 2003. 318 batting average since last year, 36 home runs. He's driven in a ton of runs, and really he sits right in the middle of everything positive the Tigers do from an offensive standpoint. Teams have taken the luxury of pitching around Miguel Cabrera lately because there's no Victor Martinez, and the guys at the top of the batting order have struggled. Miggy needs to stay within himself, get a good pitch to hit, and just do some damage here tonight.
All right, now the Tigers, by and large, this year have been pretty good against left-handed pitching. They will face a left-hander here tonight in Jose Quintana, and at times this year they've had good success against him.
Well, he's the guy that really had good success against the Tigers in the past, but not so much this year. They don't score a whole lot of runs for Quintana when he's on the mound. Let's hope that continues. The Tigers obviously are picking up that fastball that he hides very well, and he's had success with the Tigers with that pitch in the past.
All right, Tigers trying to break that 7-game losing streak. Hopefully it happens here tonight. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. Coming up with this one here tonight is Flashback Friday. Kyle Ryan made his debut in this park last August. He won the ball game. Hopefully the same tonight. Tigers Sox next. Despite a 7-game losing streak, the Tigers remain loose, and that's a good sign. They'll take on the White Sox here in Game 1 in this 3-game weekend series. And here's the starting lineup for the Tigers tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll feature Raj Davis, who is back with the ball club. He is playing in center field, leading off. Ian Kinsler at second. Miguel Cabrera at first base. Cespedes will clean up. JD in right field tonight. Castellanos DHing. McCann, Josh Wilson, and Jose Iglesias rounding out the Tigers starting 9. And they are facing the left-handed offerings of Jose Quintana.
And Quintana checks in with 2 wins and 6 losses. He really hides his fastball well, and he throws a lot of fastballs, but we've been told he's been using his curveball with runners in scoring position, so we'll look for that. 55 strikeouts for Quintana coming in, 19 base on balls. He will come right after you. Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Cabrera, Eaton, Garcia in the outfield. Ramirez, Sanchez up the middle. Beckham and LaRoche on the corners. Tyler Flowers, he's allowed 22 steals this season, 3rd most in the American League. Let's hope that's a good sign.
So Rajai Davis, good to see him back, and of course he just welcomed in his 2nd child. We'll have a little bit more on that as the game progresses, but Davis back with the Tigers and in the leadoff slot tonight. He was reinstated from the paternity list prior to this evening's game. .269 batting average to start things off. Davis 1 home run. He's knocked in 10. Quintana set to go to work. So are we. On a cool but nice evening for baseball here in Chicago. The first pitch is in for a strike, 0-1.
You'll see Quintana feature a lot of fastballs here tonight, anywhere from 89 to 94. But when he stays around 91, he hides the baseball very well. And you'll see a lot of Tigers foul that ball off or simply swing and miss at the fastball.
The 0-1, a touch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Davis. Quintana is 26 years old, a native of Colombia, goes 6'1", 220. Rajai sends a high chop, but foul down the third base line. 1-2 on Davis. Tigers trying to get back to their winning ways. It has been a rugged stretch for this ball club. They've lost 7 consecutive games. And for Brad Ausmus, it really has been kind of a conundrum here. He doesn't know what's going on. And it's a team that has good offensive pieces, yet they find themselves 5 games back in the Central.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out. They've got a lot of guys that continue to get on base. They have a very high on-base percentage as a team, but they really haven't been coming up with the big hits lately.
1-2 is tapped slowly back to the mound. Quintana has to hurry. And it's dug out at first base by LaRoche. Nicely done.
That's a nice job by Quintana. He knew it was going to be a close play, so he started to adjust his feet as he got to the roller off the bat of Rajai Davis. Watch how he ever so slightly positions himself with the feet and simply makes it a much easier play for him.
Davis was smelling base hit, but he's just nipped at the wire. One out now for Ian Kinsler. Back up in the 2 slots in this ball game tonight as Brad tried some different things. He had Kinsler batting lower, Iglesias batting in the 2 spot, but he is back up there tonight. And he just quite frankly said, I just like the look of the lineup better this way. Kinsler, when he was going good in the month of April, was certainly producing out of this spot.
Yeah, the entire team was going good. Ghost was getting on base at a rapid pace, which set the stage for Miguel Cabrera.
Shattered bat as it's rolled to Beckham at third. 2 gone. A couple of ground ball outs for Quintana. Tonight's field conditions are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. We mentioned it's a little bit cool tonight. We're not kidding. 55 degrees at the ballpark. Got some humidity, but partly cloudy. Otherwise, a clear and nice night here at the yard. U.S. Cellular Field, the site tonight. Here is Miguel Cabrera with the bases empty. Mickey right now at .333 in the batting average column.
Yeah, that's good for second in the American League. .333. Of course, Mickey's already won 3 batting titles.
And he takes ball 1.
And he absolutely wears out Quintana. Quintana really has had no answers for Miguel Cabrera in their meetings.
A couple of guys in the Tigers lineup this year that have done well. Cabrera certainly One of the top guys on that list. 360 average with a home run. Swing and a tip into the glove.
And 94 with that fastball thrown by Quintana. He won't work at 94 very often, but as we watched Sonny Gray of the Oakland Athletics a couple of starts ago for the A's, he got all the way up to 97 against Miggy.
Miggy stands deep in the box. Waits on a 1-1. 1-2.
That's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about Quintana. He throws that fastball anywhere from 89 to 92, every now and then 94, but guys just don't pick it up very well. They swing right through it. They'll come right back with another heater.
Bouncing ball right back to the mound. Quintana will have 3 ground ball outs in this first inning. A 10-pitch first inning, and here come the White Sox in the bottom half. For the White Sox, their lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Eden, Ramirez, Abreu in the top 3 spots. Garcia, LaRoche, Cabrera in the middle 3. LaRoche been pretty good lately. You've got Beckham, Flowers, and Carlos Sanchez rounding out the lineup. Here is Kyle Ryan, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
He threw 48 pitches against the Oakland Athletics. He got the win in that game. He pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, just 1 earned run. He walked 3, did not strike out a bat.
So Ryan gets the call here and leads it off against Adam Eaton, who has hit safely in his last 4.
Ryan's got a couple of different fastballs. He'll cut the fastball, but mostly sinkers. He also has a changeup and a curveball that they encouraged him to work on when he went down to the minor leagues. He's got a slurvy breaking ball, not necessarily a curve or a slider, sort of in between. It's got a pretty big break to it, and it's a pretty good pitch against left-handers.
Here's the 0-2. Eaton takes the ball high. One thing both starters have tonight, a little hesitation in their delivery to the plate.
It's always nice to have a little deception.
Quintana has it for the White Sox. Ryan has that little hesitation there, and a swing and a miss. Adam Eaton was carved up. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defense. It's presented by Beaumont Health System. Cespedes, Raj Davis, J.D. Martinez in the outfield. Wilson, he's at third base today. Iglesias, Kindler, Miggy round out the infield, and James McCann is back behind the plate after Brian Holiday caught yesterday.
Rajay patrolling center field for the Tigers tonight. Ramirez looks at a strike. That was one of the more uncomfortable at-bats we've seen in a while against Kyle Ryan. Adam Eaton just had a couple of awkward swings.
You know that the final pitch was the breaking ball that I was just speaking of. That Jeff Jones and Brad Ausmus encouraged Ryan into going down in the minor leagues and working on. He almost made the team out of spring training. He stayed there very late, and they anticipate possibly later on this year, he could pitch out of that bullpen, and that breaking ball would be very valuable against left-handed hitters.
Boy, yeah, I mean, he ate up Eaton, so it looks like if he can command that pitch, it could be really good. Now, Ryan did struggle in the minors this year, had an ERA of 4.67, was 0-5. There's a ball inside.
Here's that breaking ball that he struck out Eaton with the first bat of the game. Big, sweeping breaking ball. And if he can do this and locate it where he located that one, he might be able to help this team in the bullpen or in the rotation. You never know.
Alexei Ramirez lines one to right field, base hit. It'll be a one-out single for the White Sox.
That's a nice job there by Alexei Ramirez, who is a dead pull hitter, but he's been struggling in his last 10 games. Batting average only at 111, so he simply stayed behind this ball and hit it the other way. That's a nice approach for a guy that's been struggling.
He came in batting .226, which is 48 points under his career average. The White Sox have the game's first base runner. Now the slugging Jose Abreu with 9 home runs this year.
And he has simply worn out Tigers pitching in his career. You see the numbers at 375. They go up over 400 in this ballpark.
And Ramirez draws the throw. Alexei down at first base has stolen 7 times. So he runs the bases pretty well. Abreu this season has knocked in 32. He missed 3 games with a finger injury. Recently returned to their lineup. And a strike called on Abreu.
You mentioned the fact that Alexei Ramirez has already stolen 7 bases this year. It's very important for Ryan to keep his double play in order, which means you have to keep Ramirez right at first base. Abreu has grounded into 8 double plays this year.
How about number 9? Runner goes. Grounded foul. No balls, 2 strikes on Jose Abreu. The White Sox come into play tonight at 24-28, so again they're hovering around the 500 mark, trying to get back up there.
This division all of a sudden has become pretty bunched up.
And topsy-turvy as well, because nobody predicted Minnesota would be where they are right now.
I know, right?
The game lead over the Royals, 5 up on the Tigers. Cleveland playing a little bit better. They're 1 game under, so this is a division now that's starting to come together. And some teams that we thought at the beginning of the year would be playing a little bit better. Here's McCann flashing signals behind the plate. Here's what we're talking about in terms of the Central. The last 3 calendar weeks. This is since mid-May. See, the Royals have kind of come back to the pack a little bit. The Twins have kind of bolted ahead, and look what the Indians are doing.
There are a lot of experts out there that picked the Indians to win the division this year because of their starting pitching. And it started to pitch very well now.
Runner goes again on 0-2, and it's lined to left center field. That ball's going to get down. It's going to go to the wall, and they will score a run. Abreu is on his way to second. He'll pull in with a double, and the White Sox lead 1-0. 33rd RBI this year for Jose Abreu.
Abreu continues his torrid pace against Tigers pitching in this ballpark. It's a cut fastball thrown by Kyle Ryan at 89, and he can just hit. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This guy hit 300 last year, hit a bunch of home runs, and drove in a bunch of runs. He's the real deal.
He is legit, as they say. And he's given his team an early lead here, 1-0 White Sox. 9 two-baggers now for Abreu.
That's not the norm for the White Sox. Coming into play today, they had been outscored in the first inning 46-14.
46-14.
I saw those numbers and thought, well, that bodes well for the Tigers.
The 46 number is the highest in the big leagues, and that 14 number was the lowest in the majors.
There's Avisail Garcia, a former Tiger, batting a solid .301 at this point. Shoots one foul down the right field line. So again, Ryan gets ahead 0-2. Robert Ventura, fourth season now as the skipper for the White Sox. And there you have it, 46 runs allowed in the first inning. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Garcia has knocked in 18, been struggling of late though, 5 for his last 36. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Kyle. It's his second strikeout. 2 gone.
It's a good cut fastball slash breaking ball thrown by Ryan there at 86 miles an hour down toward the back foot of Avisail Garcia.
Ryan has gone to an 0-2 count on all 4 hitters so far in this game, but he's given up a couple of hits. Here's Adam LaRoche, batting .237. He will try and drive in a 2-out run. Strike 1 on LaRoche. And in playing first base tonight with Abreu serving as the DH. This is how they play him defensively, shifting to the right side of the playing field. Strike called by Laz Diaz, and again another 0-2 count. That's 5 straight hitters now that Ryan has gone 0-2.
And maybe he'll use that same breaking ball that he was able to strike out Adam Eaton with to lead off this game. Big sweeping breaking ball toward the outside part of the plate, but you have to get it down.
We just missed with it. And LaRoche was able to lay off.
This is why the Tigers play LaRoche the way that they play him. He's sort of pull happy. Only 6 base hits the opposite way for Adam.
Good stop by McCann, holding the runner at second base. Even the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Sox have taken the early lead as Abreu doubles in a run. Jose Abreu now has 7 RBIs in 7 games against the Tigers this year.
That doesn't surprise you, does it?
Not at all. Based on the numbers he had against Detroit last season.
And he did it against some really good pitching. Scherzer, Verlander.
Now the 2-2. Popped him up. Shallow center field. Here comes Raj Davis. He is under it. And that'll end the inning. So the White Sox settle for 1 run. We go to the second in Chicago.
suspended the game because of flu-like symptoms, but you knew he was going to play today. Quintana on the mound, he has already clobbered him throughout his major league career. As a matter of fact, he homered twice against him at the beginning of the season on April 18th.
One of those, a grand slam home run for Yoenis Cespedes, which brings us to the Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup. Look at these numbers for Cespedes against Quintana. 6 for 9, 4 home runs.
Now those numbers are to the point. If you're Quintana, you really don't want to pitch to Yoenis Cespedes. Just let him go to first base and take your chances with everybody else. But we'll see if he tries to attack Yoenis.
Everybody else in this inning consists of Martinez and Castellanos. They will follow Cespedes. And Yoenis looks at a strike, 0-1.
That's the one pitch that a lot of Tigers really have not seen that much from Quintana. That slow breaking ball about 80. He uses it to get ahead, and he uses it to put hitters away lately.
The 0-1 missing high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now that fastball right there was just to show Cespedes the fastball to get back to the changeup or another one of those curveballs.
In that start in which we just showed you, the start in which he gave up the grand slam to Cespedes. 1-1 is outside. He had a 42-pitch first inning in that game, and Quintana just could never really recover after that.
We had never seen Quintana like that against Tigers bats. He had been pretty consistent since he's come to the big leagues against Detroit. Not a lot of run support, but he'd been consistent and shutting down Tigers bats.
The chopper back up the middle. Ramirez, nice spin move, and he is safe at first base. It is another hit for Cespedes against Quintana.
So one thing that kind of surprises you about Cespedes is how quickly he gets out of the batter's box and down the line for a guy that has as much power and a guy that takes a big swing like he takes, but he gets down that line at a pretty good pace.
Cespedes stretching out at first. They're hustling down the line, so the Tigers have their first hit of the game. It'll bring up J.D. Martinez. 1 for 12 on the homestand for Martinez, batting .256. The Tigers were swept in that 3-game series by the Athletics.
If you're wondering how quickly Cespedes got down the line, he got down the line in about 4 seconds right there. And the average for a right-hander is about 4.2, so he's a tick above average.
0-1 on Martinez. Swing and a miss. By the way, it was the 10th infield hit for Mr. Cespedes. So Yoenis, who had to come out of the ball game early yesterday, which also gave Daniel Fields an opportunity. Back in there tonight. Fields was sent back to Toledo. 1-0 White Sox lead. We are in the second. RBI doubled by Jose Abreu. JD waits on an 0-2. Swing and a miss. 93-mile-an-hour fastball strikes him out. 1 gone. Let's check in now with John Keating.
Mario, you mentioned that Raj Davis is back with the Tigers after having missed the last 3 games. He was on paternity leave. He and his wife welcomed their second child, their first son to the world, Jordan Michael Davis. And we find it rather ironic that we're here in Chicago and it's not Michael Jordan. No, it's Jordan Michael that has entered the world. And I asked Raj if he'd caught up on his sleep yet. Big smile. Yes. Yes, he said, last night was my night. He flew in from Connecticut to Chicago to be with his team for Game 1 of the series this weekend.
Yeah, Keith, I beg to differ because he was yawning in the clubhouse today. I don't know if he caught up on his sleep totally.
Well, some of it's adrenaline, as you know, as a dad. Both you guys are dads. I mean, for a while you're buzzing a little bit, and then it sort of sinks in, and then you go back to work and. Back to work for Rajay is trying to hit fastballs.
And we appreciate it, Keats. Thanks very much. Well, the Tigers have a new addition to the family. Jordan Michael Davis. Castellanos the batter. Nick batting .233. 1 on, 1 out here in the second. And Quintana brings it home. High fly ball. Medium depth in right field. Garcia coming in. 2 gone. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lights. Bob, were your kids born during the season or in the off season?
Well, I was in Japan when Andrew was born, and I was in Japan when Rachel was born as well. My older 2 children, I was in the United States when they were born, but my 2 youngest children, I was playing in Japan at that time, and I flew home for both of their births.
Wow.
I made it in time for Andrew, didn't make it in time for Rachel.
So that's not like jumping in a car, man.
Oh, no, it's a long trek, man. You talk about being deprived of some sleep. I had to get back and play.
They didn't care, did they?
They didn't care. They want to know when you're coming back.
Here's James McCann with 2 outs. Here's Raj, who I guess in the next couple of days will get back to normal as far as the schedule is concerned. Tigers only playing 3 here in Chicago. Then it's back home on Monday. It's an off day on Monday. That'll come in handy for him. McCann is hitting .278, couple of home runs this year. Leadoff single by Cespedes. He is still standing there. Here's the 0-1. Quintana this year just has not gotten a whole lot of run support. Case in point, his numbers in May. He was 1 in 5 in May, but his ERA was just a shade over 3. He's had a ton of no decisions in his career. He's kind of been a hard luck pitcher. Can swings and misses.
That fastball that Quintana throws at 92, 93 miles an hour, when he's locating it down and up, it's just so difficult to catch up to.
There you go, 2.69 of run support, which is 3rd worst, 3rd lowest in the American League among starters. One and 2 on McCann. James back in there today behind the dish. Word on Alex Avila is that maybe he, along with Victor Martinez, could be going on a rehab assignment next week. We'll have to wait and see. They are both progressing well. Grounded foul again.
And no disrespect to McCann, who is going to be a good big league catcher for a long time, but the Tigers, their earned run average since Avila went on the disabled list is right at 5. They really miss him. They miss his leadership skills. They miss the way that he leads the pitching staff, the way that he calls the game. They miss him. We hope he gets back soon.
Swing and a miss, and Quintana dusted him again with the fastball out of the strike zone. A couple of strikeouts for Quintana.
Major League debut right here in this ballpark, and he pitched 6 brilliant innings. He only gave up 5 hits in that contest, did not give up a run. He had some great location with his fastball. He threw just enough breaking balls to keep the White Sox hitters off balance. His mom was in attendance, so you know it was a special evening for Kyle Ryan.
And Kyle goes back to work here in the bottom of the second. Melky Cabrera will lead it off. Kyle went to high school in Auburndale, Florida, which is just about 25 minutes out of Lakeland. But as he said, he never really had a chance to go watch the Tigers in spring training because he was always playing himself. High school, summer ball, what have you.
That's one thing about baseball players that go to college. You don't have spring breaks. You don't get a chance to go to Florida. You don't get a chance to go to Mexico. You got to sit there and play baseball, but it's all worth it.
1-2 on Cabrera.
Cabrera's struggling this year. Not really performing the way that they thought he would after signing him to a free agent contract. He had 171 hits last year for the Toronto Blue Jays.
I was looking at some of the Melky Cabrera numbers last year and the pace he's on this year. Melky last year hit 16 homers. He's on pace for 3 this year. That's it.
And the one thing that Melky does have going for him, however, he's performed very well against Tigers pitching throughout his career.
There's the 2-2. Right back to the mound. Ryan will handle this one. Throws it high, but Cabrera does a nice job to reach back for the bag.
For whatever reason, when that pitcher just kind of lobs that ball over the first base, they just don't get on top of it. And we've seen a lot of pitchers when they lob the baseball to bases, or whether you're trying to walk a batter intentionally, for whatever reason, it's something that you don't really practice, so you may as well throw it the way that you always practice it, and that's a little firmer to first base.
Every White Sox hitter so far tonight has taken the first pitch. Gordon Beckham standing in. Drives one in the air to right field. Up there is J.D. Martinez, 2 gone. Well, let's take a look at the more background on Kyle Ryan. Kyle's chronicles, we mentioned he went to Auburndale High School, which is just outside of Lakeland. 2013 was an all-star in Lakeland, the Florida State League, and we showed you his debut here on August 30th against the White Sox. Kyle, by the way, also has family in Michigan. He's got some family in Lansing and also some in the UP in Escanaba. There's a strike call. So there are some Michigan ties for Kyle. Flowers the batter with 2 outs, nobody on. We're in the second. On the count to 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Ryan doing a very nice job of getting ahead of the White Sox hitters. He is 7 of 8 in first pitch strikes thrown.
White Sox this year really haven't gotten a whole lot out of their catchers. Flowers hitting .207. Giovanni Soto batting just .214. Flowers, a little bit of power, has 3 homers. RBIs as well for Tyler. Waiting on deck is Carlos Sanchez, the White Sox second baseman. Bouncing ball to third. Short hop scoop there by Wilson, who throws it up. 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Ryan. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Score of 1-0, and leading it off for the Tigers, it'll be Josh Wilson getting his first start for the Tigers this year. And you've got three things you need to know about him. His father Mike managed Duquesne University for 17 years, was the head coach there, actually involved in the 2008 Manny Ramirez Jason Bay 3-team deal. He's played with a lot of teams. The Tigers, his 9th major league team. They signed him up in January, and here he is. Hernan Perez no longer part of the organization. Wilson gets a chance and drives one in the air to left. On the move is Cabrera. Nope, still going to the warning track. One away. Let's check in now with John Keating.
Well, Mario, it is Italian Heritage Night here at U.S. Cellular Field, and before the game there was a tuxedo-wearing, Frank Sinatra-sounding guy singing "That's Amore." Well, the Tigers were taking the field, and Jose Iglesias, well, he just couldn't help himself. He got into the spirit of it. Look at Iggy dancing out in right field as "That's Amore" was being blasted all over the ballpark. I'm guessing that somehow Sinatra found his way to Cuba at some point for Iglesias to have a firm appreciation of what "That's Amore" means. And Mario, is an Italian American yourself, it's got to be special for you.
That was the soundtrack to my youth, Keats. "That's Amore," little pizza pie. There's a bouncing ball to third, and Iglesias is out of there, 2 gone.
But that was a long time ago, wasn't it, your youth?
A real long time ago, but Dean Martin used to boom through our house. I'll tell you that much. Thanks, Keats.
Okay.
He digs up a lot of stuff.
Doesn't he, though? Hardest working man in show business, John Keating.
Here's Raj Davis with 2 outs. Iglesias got some pretty good moves. And he put them on display here tonight at U.S. Cellular. So Quintana's gotten a couple of outs on just 3 pitches. Let's see if Rajay takes one here, and he does. It's a strike. Davis tapped out to the mound his first time up. Here's the 0-1. Drilled toward left center field. This one is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Rajay on his way to second. Will he go for more? Yep, he's coming to third. There's going to be a play, the throw, and he is safe for third base.
What a great slide by Rajay Davis. Take a look at Dave Clark leading Rajay Davis, telling him exactly where to slide, and that's to the outside part of the bag. That's great leadership by your third base coach.
Davis sliding in with a triple, and the Tigers have the tying run at third now with 2 outs.
You don't usually see triples in left center field, but Rajay Davis has that kind of speed. It looked like Beckham reached for the left hand. Rajay pulled the left hand back, and then he went on to touch the bag after Beckham tried to tag him.
Kinsler nearly tied the game with a shot to right, but he goes foul.
Let's watch Rajay run, and he's thinking double out of the batter's box, and then once he gets to second base, he makes a decision on his own that he can get to third. He didn't need Clark to tell him whether he can come to third or not, but he needed some help which direction to slide.
Here's the 0-1. Kinsler sends a ground ball to third. Beckham gobbles it up there, and nothing will come from the triple. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. 7-pitch inning for Quintana. Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Chrysler, come discover great deals during Chrysler Drive and Discover events. And by Sargento Shredded Cheese, taste the real difference. Back here in Chicago as we head to the bottom of inning number 3. 1-0 in favor of the White Sox, and Kyle Ryan goes back to work facing number 9 hitter Carlos Sanchez. He's followed by Adam Eaton and then Alexei Ramirez. Sanchez looks at a strike, 1-1.
Sanchez not hitting much for average, but he really has solidified that second base position from a glove standpoint. He's got a really good glove.
Here's the 1-1. Look at Sanchez at second playing good defense. Beckham now is getting a lot more reps at third, and he's really good there.
He's a shortstop in college and also shortstop in the minor leagues, Beckham. So he's got outstanding feet playing third base.
Ryan again backs Sanchez out of there. 2-2. Kyle had a 1-2-3 second after giving up a run in the first. It's way outside, and the count fills now 3-2.
You got to work hard to walk the White Sox. They don't walk very much as a team.
On the line to center, Rajay makes the catch about chest high. One gone. They catch 4 games at Comerica Park for as low as $73. The new Detroit Tigers 4-packs. You can choose 4 bobblehead giveaways, 4 fireworks nights, or 4 weekday matinee games. Call 313-471-2255 or visit tigers.com.
That sounds like a good deal to me.
4-pack, baby. Take advantage of it. There's a bender that drops in for a strike on the inside part of the play.
At 78 miles an hour. They wanted that one away, but every now and then, if you could front door the left-hander with a nice breaking ball, it could be a good pitch for you.
Bouncer to the shortstop. Iglesias has it there. Eaton is gone, 2 away. Game break time. Here's Mickey York. Good news. Thanks, Mick. Here, 1-0 Chicago. We're in the bottom of the third. Alexei Ramirez looks at a strike. 7 straight now retired by Kyle Ryan following the run-scoring double by Jose Abreu. Ramirez got it started with a base hit with 1 out of the first and then scored on the 2-bagger. Alexei appeared in his 1,000th game at shortstop last night. Missed it outside. 2-1 at Ramirez. Coming in, though, is batting just .111 over his last 9 games. One missed inside.
His first at-bat was a good at-bat. A base hit to right field. That's the kind of approach that you want to have when you've come into the contest struggling.
Strike called. Alexei was on his way to first.
Yeah, good cut fastball thrown by Ryan at 88 miles an hour. And Ryan's got a couple of fastballs. I told you he's got that cutter right there. He also sinks the fastball away from right-handers.
There's ball 4. So Ramirez on for the second time, 2-out-1.
And last pitch was close. That's only the 122nd base on balls issued to a White Sox batter this year, which is 3rd fewest in the majors. So they don't walk very often.
No, and Ramirez is one of those guys that goes up there hacking, but he looked at 6 straight pitches. Doesn't happen very often.
I wouldn't pitch to Abreu here if I was Ryan. You've got a couple of open bases. And even if Ramirez steals, you can put him on first base, but you can look at second base and third base right now as being your open bases.
7 RBIs in 7 games against the Tigers this year for Abreu. He's knocked in 33 this year.
And there is strike 0-1.
And if you're Ryan and you decide to pitch to Abreu, you can't pay too much of attention to Ramirez on first base. You do not want your attention divided between he and the dangerous Abreu in the batter's box.
Abreu had a 17-game hitting streak in the month of May. No balls, 1 strike. Alexei back in there standing up. Bring McCann out to the mound. Javi Garcia is the on-deck batter. Being very careful with Abreu here, whose double was hit to left center field with a runner on the move back in the first, and that scored Ramirez easily. Another toss back to first. I was reading an article on Abreu and his adjustment coming to the States, and everybody says he's just a really polite guy, a calm guy, and really appreciates what he has here in the United States. It's a lot different, the freedoms that he has here and what baseball has given him. Very appreciative. And in his short time here in the States, he's given baseball a lot back, that's for sure, especially these White Sox fans. There's another throw as Ramirez dives back in.
Everything that you just said right there, I would think that about Abreu after watching him the last 2 years in a White Sox uniform. He plays the game the right way. He appreciates the game. He hits a home run. He puts his head down. He runs like he's going to do it again.
Foul away. And I guess that's a respect for the game that he's had ever since growing up as a youngster. Rapidly ran through the levels of baseball in Cuba. There were some thoughts when he was deciding to come to the United States, and teams, looking at him and judging whether or not he would have success here because he's not an overly athletic guy. There were some teams that knew he could hit. The question was, where would he play defensively? He fouled that one off.
He wasn't a first baseman by trade in Cuba.
He was, but again, the whole, when you talk about guys coming up to the big leagues, there always seems to be, especially now these days, an emphasis more on athletic players. When you look at a guy like Cespedes, who really had a great workout, a very athletic workout. And some of the younger guys coming from Cuba, more slender, athletic guys.
Well, maybe Abreu's kind of changed that thought process because the Diamondbacks signed a guy that is pretty big boned. What's his name? Tomas?
That's Manny Tomas.
Yeah. Kind of fit.
You think they called him Big Boned when he was growing up in Cuba?
I hope so. Is that other name?
I don't know how that translates. The 0-2. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Iglesias will flip to Kinsler, and they get Abreu this time. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. When we go to the 4th, Miggy leads it off for the Tigers.
I want to look at some of the numbers that Miguel Cabrera has put up against the White Sox. .330 average or more and 15 homers or more against any opponent since 2011. Miguel has done that against the White Sox. He's done it against the Twins and Indians. So he's done a lot of damage against the Central Division, but especially against the Sox. And he will stand in here in the fourth inning. Cabrera, Cespedes, and Martinez.
And Tigers this year has also played a very good baseball against the Central.
Shattered bat to the right side of the infield, and that's going to be hauled in by Sanchez. One out. Maybe wondering where the other part of his bat went. That'll bring up Cespedes. Well, the Tigers are glad to get to the Central because they played so well within their division. They just finished a stretch of 14 games against the West, and they won just 4 of them.
Yeah, it didn't go very well.
A bad trip out to Anaheim, bad homestand against the A's, split with the Astros at home. Cespedes had an infield single in the second. The first of the Tigers' hits in this game. Raj had a triple the next inning. Yuenis now 7 for 10 against Quintana in his career. Strike call.
Good changeup by Quintana, and fading down and away from Yoenis Cespedes in a fastball count.
Swing and a miss.
There's that curveball. He started to throw a lot of those the last couple of outings, and it's been a plus pitch for him. Real nice downward motion on the curveball thrown by Quintana.
Boy, that was a good one. And he's got himself ahead of the count 1-2. Slice to right field. That is going to get down, and it's another hit for Yuenis. On his way to second, he will pull in with a double, and no matter what Quintana does, he can't get him out.
Should Brad come out and see maybe would that have been a triple had that fan not interfered down there in the right field corner?
He might. Well, doesn't appear that he's going to.
Really nice swing here by Cespedes. This is a breaking ball, and it's a pretty good pitch thrown by Quintana, but he stays with him, and now he's 8 for 11 in his career against Quintana. Oh, that ball was going into the stands.
Yep. So a double puts the tying run in scoring position. Here's J.D. Martinez.
Whatever it is Cespedes has on Quintana, he might as well share with the rest of his teammates, right?
Gotta have something. I mean, they should be lining up in his locker right now taking notes.
That was not a bad pitch thrown by Quintana.
Quintana got Martinez to chase the fastball out of the strike zone his first time up.
And that's exactly what he did to him. He threw him all fastballs, and J.D. couldn't catch up to him upstairs. I've noticed this year Martinez much more pull happy than he was when he burst on the scene last year for the Tigers. He really used right center very effectively last year, right field very effectively. But he's pulling the ball a lot more this year.
And there it is, another elevated fastball, same result.
I guess you know what the next pitch is going to be.
So how does a guy get into a situation where he gets pull happy, especially when he had success doing the other things?
Well, maybe trying to do too much. Victor Martinez not there, and he was batting right behind Miguel when Victor first left. Now Brad has Cespedes batting fourth, but it could be a situation where he's just trying to do too much.
He laid off that one. Another fastball up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Everything so far tonight and thrown to J.D. Martinez upstairs. This is the second at bat that we're currently showing you, but that first at bat looked exactly the same.
Again, he stays up. Full count, 3-2. Martinez this year is just 1 for 21 against White Sox pitching, and that one hit was, believe it or not, a home run against Chris Sale. swing and a miss. Down goes JD.
All fastballs upstairs until the final breaking ball, which is the curveball, downstairs, and you got JD Martinez to swing right over the top of it.
2 outs. Runner remains at second base. Now it's going to take a hit from Castellanos.
And Castellanos, especially with runners in scoring position, loves to swing at the first pitch.
Ball 1. Nick a fly out to right field his first time up. He was 3 for 9 in that series against the Athletics. Ground ball to third. That's foul.
Here's where the team collectively has struggled. And with runners in scoring position, in their last 10 games, the team batting average is just 150. And that's nothing the manager can do anything about.
No, and it's hard to win games that way. The Tigers lead the American League in on-base percentage, yet they've had so much trouble getting those runs in. Tigers tonight with men on base are 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Castellanos will change that, though. It's into center field, a base hit. That will score a run. It's a 2-out knock for Nick Castellanos, and that's big. 1-1 game.
It's a nice job here by Castellanos, who drives in his 24th run of the year. And it's just knowing the pitcher, knowing that Quintana has started to throw that breaking ball a lot with 2 strikes. He wasn't sitting on it, but he had it in the back of his mind. And that wasn't a good one thrown by Quintana. And Yoenis Cespedes comes home with the first run of the evening for Detroit.
So the Tigers do not waste the double by Cespedes. Now here's McCann. 4th hit of the evening now for the Tigers. They've out hit the White Sox 4-2. McCann takes a strike on the outer edge.
Quintana throwing hard tonight. Usually fastball anywhere from 89 to 91, but he's been up to 94 on several occasions this evening.
McCann hit his first career triple against Quintana earlier this year. Quintana had just 33 pitches through the first 3 innings, was cruising along, but Tigers put together a couple of hits against him here. Now it's 1-2 on McCann. Here are the numbers by inning now. 51 for Quintana. Just a 7-pitch 3rd inning. Way high as McCann lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Josh Wilson waiting on deck. Two is swung on and missed, and down he goes. It'll be 4 strikeouts for Quintana. However, Tigers get a run back to tie it up. Double by Cespedes. Signal by Castellanos scores him. It's a 1-1 game. Tigers and what they've done against the American League Central Division, and these numbers are very telling. They've played well within the division, which obviously you have to do, but you can't be 10-17 against the rest of the league.
No, you can't, and they've been beat up by some teams that weren't necessarily having good years. But it's a good thing that they've played very competitive within their own division, because there are many people that believe that the American League Central is the best division in all of baseball.
Ryan goes back to work and induces a ground ball off the bat of Avisail Garcia. 1 pitch, 1 out.
A lot of first pitch strikes thrown here tonight by Kyle Ryan, which bodes very well for him, especially against an over-aggressive swinging Chicago White Sox squad.
Adam LaRoche flat out to center field. That ended the first inning. The White Sox had a chance to get more than just the one they got in the double by Abreu, who scored a run, but the next 2 hitters were retired. And LaRoche looks at a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2 on LaRoche.
That big breaking ball has been a pitch of choice tonight for Kyle Ryan against the left-handers when he's been able to get ahead of them. We'll see if he continues that pattern. McCann calling for the fastball.
Up and in, 1-2.
Overthrew that last fastball. Arm stayed behind the body. He rushed with the body. Therefore, that fastball stayed up and in to LaRoche.
Over shift to the right side defensively for the Tigers against the left-handed batter. Skies this one in the air toward left. Cespedes is cruising under it. And there are 2 gone. Hey, you notice in the crowd tonight, Rod?
Is that Bo?
That is Bo. Bo Jackson is in the house tonight. Played with the Royals, the White Sox here for a little bit, Angels as well.
White Sox did a pretty cool thing here tonight. Those 2 kids that he's sitting next to, they didn't tell them that they were going to have dinner tonight with Bo Jackson, and Bo showed up, and all of a sudden those kids had a chance to have dinner with him. Just a real nice gesture on the part of the Chicago White Sox for that family.
That's pretty cool, man. Bo's getting into it too.
We didn't believe it was Bo Jackson because he had his jersey on, and usually you don't see the former players strolling around the concourse in their own jerseys.
You know, you pointed him out before the game. You said, "Is that Bo Jackson?" And I looked at his jersey and I said, "It can't be Bo Jackson. Why would he be wearing his shirt to the ball?" But it was Bo.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Boy, was he talented. Oh my goodness.
Multi-talent. 1-2 pitch, a wave and a miss.
I see you, Kyle.
Kyle looking good tonight.
I see you.
Let's see, Ryan now has 3 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning. On our way to the 5th. Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here in Chicago, as the Tigers and White Sox go at it here in the first of 3 this weekend, as Josh Wilson leads it off for the Detroit Tigers. It'll be Wilson, Iglesias, and Raj Davis against the lefty Quintana. 1-1 is our score. Wilson sends a ground ball to short. Alexei Ramirez gobbles that one up. 1 out. We'll bring up Jose Iglesias, who grounded out to third his first time up.
Iglesias has hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. The only game that he did not have a hit in, it was when he went 0 for 4 a couple of days ago when Brad first put him in that number 2 spot. And he rolled over to the third baseman 4 times in that game. He's at his best when he's utilizing the entire baseball field.
Drill one to left field. That's going to get down a base hit.
That's what he's been doing all year right there, allowing the ball to travel deep in the strike zone, thinking about left center field, right field, and that right field line. And that's one of the reasons why his batting average is way up. Beautiful swing by Iglesias. Thinking 2 out of the batter's box.
Tigers now have the go-ahead run on here in the 5th. For Detroit, their 5th hit of this contest tonight, only 2 for Chicago, and those came in the first inning. Davis had a 3-bagger in his last at bat, but did not score.
Iglesias has some stolen bases this year, but it might be difficult to run here on the left-hander. And Quintana utilizes the slide step, even though Flowers hasn't been great this year at throwing out the base stealers.
To say the least, because Tyler Flowers is at 8% this year,
right,
throwing guys out.
Right.
1 ball, no strikes. Rache sends a ground ball to second. Sanchez for home in the relay at double play. That'll go 4-6-3. The inning is over. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
And how about this? LeVar Burton threw out the first pitch here tonight at U.S. Cellular Field. Of course, he is famous for a lot of things. He was in the movie Roots. also was in the movie One in a Million. It was a life story of Ron LaFleur, the former Tiger, former Chicago White Sox player.
LeVar Burton's 58 years old.
Is he?
How'd that happen? Gordon Beckham is starting things off here in the 5th inning.
He has had a really wonderful career.
But it was roots that pretty much put him on the map.
Oh, no question about that. But that Ron LaFleur story, though, is a fabulous story. I mean, the guy was in prison. They got him out of prison to play baseball, and he went on to be successful playing for a couple different teams. I was with the White Sox in spring training one year when Ron LaFleur was there. And I didn't make the team that year. Of course, Ron LaFleur was on that team, and I was traded a year after that to the Seattle Mariners. But I remember Ron fondly because he would always go to, there was one place in Sarasota, Florida where, you know, a lot of the African-American guys would go eat after games. It was a soul food restaurant.
Yeah.
And we get some good food there.
Flowers sends a ground ball left side. Iglesias running scoop. 2 gone.
And every time that most of us would leave the ballpark, Ron LaFleur would already be gone. And he would always buy all the desserts from the lady at the soul food restaurant. So if she had pumpkin pie, or if she had peach cobbler, when we all got there, it was all gone because she said Ron bought up all the pies today.
What did he do with them?
I don't know what he was doing with it, but none of us could ever get any dessert because he would always buy it up.
He's probably bouncing around his room after eating all that sugar.
I'm telling you.
Here is Carlos Sanchez with 2 outs. Ron LaFleur once had 97 steals in a year. That was with the Expos back in the early 80s. Well, Kyle Ryan tonight, Roddy's looked good.
He's dealing, man. A lot of first pitch strikes, a lot of ground balls, really keeping this White Sox team off balance. He is giving the Tigers everything that they needed here tonight to try to break this 7-game losing streak.
Kyle has retired 13 of the last 14, and the only guy to get on base in that stretch was the Ramirez walk in the 3rd.
He was 0-5 in AAA this year with an earned run average that was approaching 5.
That's a ground ball to Miggy. Knocks it down, still has time, and he'll recover for the out.
But when you pitch as well as Ryan was in spring training, the manager doesn't forget it.
8-pitch inning for Kyle Ryan. Looking good. This has been a game dominated by the starting pitchers. Kyle Ryan, 5 innings, 1 earned run, and 3 strikeouts in this game. Quintana hasn't walked anybody through 5, and he's given up 5 hits. Quintana with 8 ground ball outs, and Ryan has 7 ground ball outs. So a bunch of those tonight.
Yeah, 2 of the ground ball outs that Quintana has thrown have come off the bat of Ian Kinsler, and both of those to the third baseman, Gordon Beckham. And if you're Ian in this particular situation, you have to fight to try to hit something up the middle, fight to try to hit something the opposite way, and to try to get back on track.
Well, Kinsler to be followed by Cabrera, then Cespedes. As we head to the 6th inning, 1-1 ball game.
Ian has always been a pull hitter, but going into spring training this year, he was really working long and hard at trying to rediscover and driving the ball the other way.
On the very first pitch, he pops it up in a shallow center, going to drop, base hit.
Good things happen, Mario, when you get jammed. In this game of baseball, it's not the prettiest swing. It doesn't look like a line drive here. It will look like a line drive in the newspaper tomorrow, but good things happen when you get jammed as a hitter. And he got jammed right there, and he got himself a base hit.
It'll look like a line drive on the internet, too.
What's that? I still read the newspaper.
Do you really? Here's Cabrera now. Tigers now have 6 hits. Miggy has been retired twice.
And he hasn't looked very comfortable, as Quintana has retired him twice. And Miggy came in with monster numbers against Jose.
As we mentioned, both have gotten a lot of ground balls, and certainly Quintana looking for one here. Cabrera takes one outside. 2-0 on Miguel. We talked about this throughout the course of the season, but Miguel's numbers during the daytime have been much better than night game.
That just does not seem right to me, as good as Miguel is. But it's factual.
Hard to believe that Tampa's 11 home runs would come during the day. 2-1.
Miguel knows that Quintana has started to throw a lot more of those curveballs these days, and if he does throw a curveball here and he gets it up in the strike zone, there's no doubt in my mind that Miguel's going to barrel it up and hit it hard somewhere.
Trying to extend that on base streak. He's been on base in 23 straight.
Miguel has taken 2 fastballs right down the middle, waiting for the breaking ball. Now he doesn't have the luxury of sitting on any particular pitch. He simply has to put the ball in play, whatever Quintana throws. But that's the kind of hitter that Miggy is. He knows what you like to do. He tries to set you up, but Quintana didn't fall into the trap.
Now the 2-2. We'll run it full now. 3-2 on Cabrera. Miguel's second in the league right now in hitting. Prince Fielder of the Rangers came in at .358.
Prince has got 25 multi-hit games to pace the majors, too.
He's having a great year.
Good for him.
This, by the way, is only Quintana's second 3-ball count tonight. Oh, they got him picked off.
That is an absolute no-no by Ian Kinsler.
Try and get a run down and salvage it, but it ain't going to happen.
You're not going to steal the base. You're simply going after the pitcher delivers the ball toward home plate to try to stay out of the double play. So you shouldn't get overly aggressive, and Ian just got way too aggressive here.
One, 3, 4. That's how the putout goes. So they're empty now with 1 out. 3-2 on Cabrera. And he walked him outside. That's ball 4, Miggy. So the Tigers get that base runner back. 1 on 1 out for Quintana's nemesis, Cespedes, who has 2 more hits against him tonight, single and a double. Two of the 6 Tigers hits. So Yoenis now 8 for 11 career against Quintana. Ball 1.
Does that classify as owning somebody?
Yeah, that's major ownership. And not just 8 for 11, but half of those hits are homers. including a grand slam in which he hit against Quintana earlier this year. 1-1 on Cespedes.
A lot of good Cuban-born players playing in this game tonight. Iglesias, Cespedes, Abreu, Alexei Ramirez. There are a lot of really good Cuban players coming to the major leagues, as a matter of fact.
Cespedes originally signed with the A's out of Cuba. Traded to the Red Sox last year, to the Tigers in the offseason. And Yoenis looks at a ball outside.
He is just doing a very nice job of making sure that Quintana throws him a strike.
J.D. Martinez waiting on deck. It's hard to imagine that Quintana wants to throw him a strike. With that 8 for 11. Big rip there by Yoenis.
It's an 88-mile-per-hour pitch. I'm not sure whether it was his changeup or not. Usually his changeup is not that firm. The only pitch that Yoenis really hasn't been able to barrel up is that really good curveball.
Alster to first. Tag the back there and tag the runner for the double play.
Second one tonight hit into by the Tigers.
Another ground ball gotten by Quintana. That one came in handy. And the White Sox getting together in game one in this 3-game weekend series. Quintana and Kyle Ryan in a duel this evening. Here is Adam Eaton to lead it off. It'll be Eaton, Ramirez, and then Jose Abreu. 1, 2, and 3 in the Chicago lineup. 0 for 2 for Adam Eaton. And that one sails outside.
And Raj Davis in center field, shading Eaton toward left center field, and Yoenis Cespedes kind of hugging that left field line. That's where Eaton hits the ball when he's at his best.
One and 2 the count on Eaton, who had a dreadful month of April. 192 after signing that contract extension in the month of March. Started slowly but picked it up in the month of May.
What the White Sox went through in April with Eaton and Melky Cabrera at the top of their batting order is kind of what the Tigers are going through right now with Ghost and Kinsler. And both have slowed considerably. And as they have slowed, the offense is kind of slowed. But it's just not those two. But it does help when you have your top two guys getting on base a little bit more efficient.
Which is what Eaton has done a little bit more of in the month of May. Now here into the month of June as well. The 2-2 is a bouncer to short. Lacey's been busy tonight. Another running scoop. And they just got him.
Iggy picking and grinning. He can play some shortstop.
He makes really, really, really hard plays, kind of like routine.
I mean, he comes in, short hop, quick exchange, flips accurately across the diamond, and he gets help from the big fella on the other side. Eaton can run a little bit, too. It's a do-or-die play. I like the way that he flips the ball over to first base, and he's not even looking at his target.
I know. That was a great shot of it right there, too. Here's a strike call. So Iglesias now has 5 assists in the last 10 hitters, so he's been real busy.
Nice job by Ryan getting those ground balls.
You got to believe as a pitcher, you know that if you pitch a little bit more contact with the infield you have here up the middle especially.
Right.
It's going to be pretty good. They'll make the plays behind you. It's whistled back out of play.
And Tigers are solid up the middle with Iglesias, Kinsler, Ghost, Davis in center field. McCann, Avila behind the plate along with Holiday. 8 ground outs tonight thrown by Kyle Ryan.
He's also retired 8 straight overall. 1-2 on Alexei Ramirez. Now Ryan with the 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Or was it? Oh, man. Right at the third baseman Wilson. So there are 2 gone now. Time for a game break, and Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here, not as much going on, only a 1-1 ball game. Abreu is the man that drove in the Chicago run. It was a double back in the first inning. In fact, they got 2 hits in that frame, and that's all Kyle Ryan has allowed. Abreu shoots one on the ground to short, and Iglesias flips that one over to first base. Another 1-2-3 inning. 10 straight retired by Kyle Ryan.
which is not that unusual the first day of a series at a opposing ballpark, and that meant that David Price was here early, but David Price is always here early at the ballpark, and he wears in the dugout a shin guard as if he were going to bat. David Price really wants to bat, and I asked him about it. When's the next chance you will have to do that, implying interleague play in an opposing team's ballpark? And David Price looked at me and said, I look at my next chance as tonight. He always wants to hit.
Not only Keith does he have the guard on, he had some batting gloves on, and now he's doing a little work on his bat.
Fellas, he is 2 for 31 career as a hitter.
You don't think they're going to call on him?
He ain't pinch hitting tonight.
He looks the part, though.
He's taping it up and everything.
I asked him what Brad Ausmus's reaction is, because he leans on Ausmus pretty heavily for one of those terrific opportunities, and he said there's a lot of eye rolling.
And I can see it coming from Brad, too.
He has a sweat. He's got the sweatband on and everything.
He's ready.
He looks the part.
Put me in, Coach.
All right, Keats. There's David Price holding on to that bat and holding on to that dream tonight. Meanwhile, the Tigers have gotten the leadoff man on here in the 7th. Nick Castellanos will stand in. He drove in the Tigers run back in the 4th.
Nice base hit there by J.D. Martinez. If you were with us the last time J.D. came up, I told you that J.D. had become more pull happy this year opposed to last year. And in that last at-bat, he simply got him a base hit to right field. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for J.D.
Another toss back to the bag at first. You know, since we're talking about pitchers and hitting, and we are in Chicago, the Cubs have John Lester, who is 0 for 61 career.
Ooh.
That's the worst in history.
History?
Yeah, baseball goes back over 100 years. We're talking history. 0 for 61. I got to lay down a bunt every now and then.
Something.
1 ball, no strikes on Castellanos. Tigers trying to push ahead that go-ahead run here in the 7th. It has been tied at 1 since the Tigers got a run in the 4th.
Yeah, good count to put a runner in motion if that's what you're thinking against the left-hander. You force Castellanos into swinging to get some guys moving in the infield via the hit and run. Yeah, but don't think for one moment that the White Sox aren't thinking along those same lines. Two managers here that had not managed in the minor leagues before getting an opportunity to manage in the big leagues. Robin Ventura and Brad Ausmus. Ventura had a great career, as did Brad.
Ventura played 16 seasons in the majors.
And it seems like they're kind of cut from the same cloth. I mean, really don't show a whole lot of emotion.
Here's the 2-1. Outside. 3 balls, 1 strike on Castellanos. James McCann waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. And he walked him. Put 2 men on now for the Tigers. Nobody out. Hey, tomorrow Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns. The Rangers take on the Royals. Then it's baseball night in America right here in Game 2. White Sox Tigers. Coverage begins at 1:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1.
If you're Brad, it's a nice luxury to have James McCann step into the batter's box with his ability to bunt the baseball. There are nobody out. There's no one out. Runners on first and second. He's up there bunting. He's already done it a couple of times this year, and he's also bunted for 2 base hits this year. And if you're McCann in this particular situation, you want to bunt it down toward third base. Gordon Beckham, you want him to vacate his position to come get the ball, which opens up third base for J.D. Martinez.
McCann has struck out twice in this game. And he bunts it. A good one down the third base line. McCann's going to be out, but the sacrifice is executed perfectly.
I can't remember, Mario, since we've been broadcasting games here for the last decade, the Tigers having a catcher that has the kind of bunting ability that McCann has. I know Brian Holiday bunts very nice for a base hit, but every time they call on him to do the job, he just does it to perfection.
Yeah, maybe Gerald Laird, he was pretty good at bunting.
At base hits, too.
But McCann just laid that down as well as perfectly as he can. Now it's set up a situation where you've got runners at second and third, 1 out.
If you're the Chicago White Sox here with 1 out, you have to be thinking squeeze in the back of your mind with Josh Wilson standing in the batter's box, runners on second and third, 1 out.
One ball, no strikes on Wilson. Fly out, ground out. Wilson in his first start with the Tigers here today. Called up before the game on Tuesday against the Athletics. He's batting .291 at AAA Toledo. Wilson shoots one in the air to shallow center field. Going to drop. 2 runs will score. Josh Wilson gets it done, and the Tigers have the lead. And a big smile for Wilson.
Second bloop base hit of the inning by the Tigers. J.D. Martinez got one, and now Josh Wilson. And a great read off second base by Nick Castellanos. As soon as that ball was hit, he knew where the defenders in the outfield were playing, and he got a great jump, and there was no play at home plate on him.
Cabrera leading the charge.
Yes, he is.
Cabrera and Wilson were teammates back in 2005 in Florida with the Marlins. So they go way back.
Wilson has had a lot of teammates. He's his 9th major league team.
Probably going every dugout.
But you know what that says about him?
Teammate.
There are a lot of general managers out there that like what he does. 9 different teams.
Well, he's knocked in his first 2 as a Tiger. Still only 1 out, 3-1 ball game now. Pitch out, but nothing going on. Jose Iglesias a single and a ground out. It's the 82nd pitch thrown by Quintana. There is nobody warming up in the Chicago bullpen.
His pitch count's in pretty good shape. He's only at 82. Some good at-bats by the Tigers in this inning, even though they really haven't torn the cover off the ball. A base hit by Martinez. J.D. that is. Base hit by Wilson. Patient at bat by Castellanos to get the walk, and a nice sac bunt by James McCann.
Tigers trying to snap a 7-game losing streak tonight. That misses low. So it's 3-1 now on Iglesias. First 7-game losing streak for the Tigers since 2011. And you got to go back to 2005 for their last 8-game losing streak. And we'll get back out of play.
September of 2005.
Tigers want no part of that.
No.
And they lead 3-1 here in the 7th. Eight Tigers hits now and just 2 for the White Sox. None since the first inning for Chicago. Late swing and it's grounded foul. 3-2. Raj Davis waiting on deck. Now the White Sox finally get some action going. Zach Putnam will start to warm. Inning started with a Martinez single, then a walk to Castellanos, sacrificed by McCann, set up the 2 runs. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Iglesias goes the other way, and the Tigers now have 2 men on.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Back in the 3rd inning, 2 are already out. Raj Davis steps up to the plate, hits the ball in the left center field, and once he gets to first base and around second base, he stretches it to a triple. He got some nice help from Dave Clark, the third base coach, telling him exactly where to slide, and Rajay did it to perfection.
Well, Don Cooper coming out to the mound now to have a chat with Quintana.
I kind of like Iglesias in that number 9 slot better than I liked him in that 2 slot.
Well, the numbers would agree with you because he's been really good 9. So Davis will be stepping in here with runners at first and second, only 1 out. That triple that he had back in the 3rd was his 4th of the year, which leaves him 1 shy for the league lead. And it's the most for Rajay since 2011. And for the most part, really hadn't played every day this year. He shows bunt, lays it to 3rd. He's going to let it roll foul. And Beckham knew he had no chance.
And that's the last thing that Beckham was expecting there from Rajay Davis, is a bunt down toward third base with runners already on first and second. The element of surprise, and he nearly got himself a base hit.
Would have been his 2nd hit of the night. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Tigers. A run on 2 hits for Chicago. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball to second. On the charge. Sanchez the second one. Not in time in the relay.
I was getting ready to say, when is the last time Rajay Davis grounded into 2 double plays in the same game?
Now you don't have to ask it.
Man, oh man.
It was close, though. Just wasn't hit hard enough for Sanchez.
A nice feed by Sanchez to Ramirez, and Ramirez, the shortstop, came across that bag very aggressively, trying to return that double play.
Well, wait a minute. They're going to challenge it.
Oh, we'll see.
So you might be able to say that. Robin Ventura using a challenge here in the 7th. Close play at first base.
The only other time Rajay Davis has grounded into 2 double plays in the same game, you got to go all the way back to July of 2013.
Does not happen often.
And nice firm feed by Sanchez. Aggressive throw across the diamond to LaRoche. Called safe by Corey Blazer. First base umpire.
That might be too close to call him out, because the call on the field is safe. It's got to be pretty evident.
And something else that Rajay did there that we talk about on our air from time to time is the fact that where he hit the base. He hit the base on the first, the part that you could hit first, and that may have allowed him to get there safely.
So he is ruled safe. It's confirmed. First and third now with 2 outs. One thing that review does is give Putnam more time to warm up in their bullpen. They just got him up here in the 7th inning. We'll bring up Ian Kinsler. Single ground out for Kinsler. Rajay got back into first base awkwardly. Kinsler takes the ball outside. Ian had a single in the 6th, but then was picked off first base. Now the 1-0. Fastball to 92, threw it by him, 1-1. Quintana wants to end it right here because he's got Cabrera lurking on deck. So Quintana right now in 90 pitches in this game. He's allowed 2 runs here in the 7th. Tigers have taken the lead. Ball high. That pitch that a lot of the Tigers tonight have not been able to lay off of. And Kinsler let that one sail by. 2-1 the count. This has turned into a 21 pitch inning for Quintana. The most he has thrown in a single inning. Rajay at first base, 12 steals, been caught 3 times. He's been their best base stealer, which I guess anticipated would be the case. 2-1 is in the air into left field, not very deep. Cruising over is Melky Cabrera, and that is that for Detroit. However, Tigers take the lead on the 2-run single by Josh Wilson. 7th inning stretch brought to you by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Tigers have taken the lead over the White Sox. Kyle Ryan has been really good, and he will go back to work as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Garcia, LaRoche, and Melky Cabrera.
And Tigers have some activity in their bullpen. Brad Ausmus knows what's at stake. Ryan has been outstanding in this contest. 6 innings, only 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and a ton of ground balls.
Alex Wilson warming up in the Detroit bullpen as a strike is delivered to Avi Garcia.
Wilson has played a lot of roles in that bullpen. He's been very successful in every last one of them.
Kyle Ryan has gotten the White Sox to pound the baseball into the ground all night. 9 ground ball outs for Ryan. He's retired 10 consecutive batters. And he's gone 0-2 on Garcia. 1-2 the count. Been really good in first pitch strikes as well. There you go, 18 of 22. Fouled away. Garcia struck out in the first. He bounced out his last time up. Former Tiger. High fly ball right field and hit well. Martinez back, track, walled and gone. Back into the bullpen. Avi Garcia with his 5th home run of the season. It's a 1-run game. That is the first Chicago hit since the first inning.
Everything that he threw to Avisail Garcia was breaking down and into him, whether it be the cut fastball or the breaking ball. He left a changeup up, and Garcia is strong enough to hit it into the Tigers bullpen.
Ryan not happy with himself. He gives up the solo shot. 3-2 ball game now as LaRoche takes the ball up and in.
That's something that hasn't been a problem for Ryan really all season. Even though his numbers weren't good in the minor leagues, he was 0-5 with an ERA that was approaching 5. He only gave up 1 home run down in Toledo, and now just 1 here in the big leagues. He's kept the ball in the ballpark.
Just the 3rd hit allowed by Kyle Ryan. That's in there, a strike. 1-1. It was Garcia's first RBI since May 19th. And LaRoche with a big swing. 1-2. Flyouts to center and left in this game for Adam LaRoche. That's in the air toward left center field. Cespedes and Davis on the run. Yoenis goes back to get it.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Kyle Ryan has been outstanding all night long. He's only given up 3 hits in this contest, 9 ground ball outs. He's kept the White Sox hitters off balance all evening long, elevating the fastball, good cut fastballs, and that real good slurvy breaking ball that they encouraged him to work on when they sent him down to Toledo.
Here is Melky Cabrera. He jabbed at a bunt and missed it 0-1.
Yeah, you can tell that's not necessarily part of Cabrera's game by the way that he's jabbed at that bunt attempt. But you have to try something. He's been struggling most of the year.
0-for-2 tonight, came in at 0.85 against left-handed pitching this year. Ugly swing there, and it's 0-2. Cabrera right now at 233 on the season. Ooh, that one just missed. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him in chase.
He doesn't even look like himself right now, Melky Cabrera.
2 gone.
Fourth strikeout of the night.
How far off the plate that was
for Kyle.
A lunging swing and a miss. Now Gordon Beckham. Fly out pop up for Beckham.
And for those of you that weren't tuned into the telecast earlier, we told you that Ryan made his major league debut against the Chicago White Sox last year and beat them, not giving up a run in 6 innings.
We'll get Beckham on the 4-3 ground out. They settled for the 1 run and the home run by Garcia. 7 in the books here in Chicago. Now a 3-2 ball game. At the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablets. Well, Kyle Ryan tonight, man. What an outing for Ryan. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. He struck out 4 in the game.
He was 19 of 25 in first pitch strikes. He had 10 different batters where he went 0-2 on that particular batter. So that's a really nice recipe for success.
Meanwhile, Wallside Windows pitching change, and Zach Putnam will take over.
And Putnam's got a fastball that averages about 91 miles an hour. He's got a slider. He's got a cutter. He also throws a splitter. And he throws that split-fingered fastball about 48% of the time. So if you're the Tigers, you have to make sure he gets that splitter up in the strike zone.
Meanwhile, the Tigers have Jabba Chamberlain beginning to heat up. As we move on to the 8th inning in a 1-run game, Putnam goes to work. Miguel Cabrera fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Miggy was able to extend his on-base streak with a walk in the 6th inning. He's reached safely now in 24 in a row.
That's the longest streak in the majors.
And it kind of puts in perspective what he did back in 2013 when he had a streak of 44 straight.
Ooh.
The 0-1. Putnam, a former Mr. Michigan in baseball back in 2005, was also the high school player of the year in the state of Michigan from Pioneer High School in Ann Arbor. Miggy swings and misses. Down he goes.
There's that split-fingered fastball that we mentioned, that Putnam will throw 48% of the time of white. Now that thing is absolutely nasty. It's a lot harder than the one that Alfredo Simon throws.
Wow.
It's dirty. Yep. You don't see Miggy swing like that very often.
Here is Cespedes. Yoenis was 2 out of 3 against Quintana. Single double run scored.
Yoenis must want to hit that split finger fastball, taking that 90-mile-per-hour cutter for strike 1.
It's 0-2. Putnam broke in with the Indians, the team that originally drafted him. Went to the Rockies for a spell, and then the Cubs and White Sox. Three-2 Tigers lead. We're in the 8th. Swing and a miss, struck him out. A couple of strikeouts now for Putnam. And make sure you stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the 2 for $5 mix or match filet of fish and 10-piece McNuggets. Two up, 2 down. Here is J.D. Martinez. Putnam has got a couple of strikeouts and a couple of pitches in the dirt to start things off here in the 8th. JD had a big hit in his last at bat. He got the single to start things off in the 7th. Tigers would go on to score 2. 1 ball, 1 strike. Putnam last year in 49 appearances out of the bullpen for the White Sox had an ERA of 1.98. It will foul third base side. 1-2 on JD. Should Martinez reach, Castellanos would be next. Tigers by far have more hits tonight. They've out-hit the White Sox 9-3, yet it's only a one-run game. Tigers this year 11-8 in a one-run game. Swing and a miss. Well, that's a pretty imposing inning there for Putnam. 3 batters, 3 strikeouts, all swinging. Here comes the bottom of the 8th. Takes on host country Canada, and then on Monday, don't miss Team USA's first game. They'll face Australia on Fox Sports 1. Catch the games all weekend long on Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, Jabba Chamberlain is on now in a wall-side windows pitching change.
And Jabba's done nice work out of the Tigers bullpen. He's been in 20 games. He has 7 holes. The earned run average just a shade over 1. He's got a fastball that tops out at about 95 miles an hour. He also throws a high percentage of sliders and curveballs.
Tyler Flowers will not bat. It'll be J.B. Shuck. He is going to pinch hit, batting .259 this year. No home runs. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Tigers. 2 runs on 3 hits for the White Sox. And Shuck fouls it back out of play 0-1.
Yeah, a little bit of history between the two. And Shuck 2 for 5 with a strikeout in his career against Chamberlain. And they shade him and hit the ball to left field.
Jabba has bad memories. The last time he pitched here earlier this season, 5 hits, 4 runs. They were all unearned in 2/3 of an inning.
Yeah, he gave that big home run to Melky Cabrera.
Bouncer right back up the middle. Kinsler can't get it into center field. Leadoff single for the pinch hitter J.B. Shuck. Tying run is on.
And Kinsler got a good jump on this ball, but couldn't knock it down.
We'll bring him Carlos Sanchez.
Well, you wonder what Robin Ventura will do here. Sanchez has not really performed all that well with the bat, getting hits. And does he sacrifice him here and try to get his base runner in the scoring position?
Wilson is thinking bunt at third, a toss back to first.
And Sanchez has 1 sack bunt this season.
Home run by Garcia in the 7th, tightened it up. Now the tying run is on. Showing bunt high, ball 1. Couple of stoic managers.
If you're Wilson at third base, if Sanchez shows you bunt again as early as he did last time, you can charge him a little bit harder. Miguel Cabrera, he cannot charge because he has the responsibility of holding on the base runner. But if you're Wilson on the other side of the diamond, you could be a little bit more aggressive here. Throw another fastball here, maybe up around the letters.
And it's bunted. Wilson will handle it. Sacrifice will advance the runner. By the way, here is the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. The Tigers and the White Sox continue this series tomorrow on Fox, and then we'll have the telecast for you on Sunday.
And Tigers will see another left-hander tomorrow, John Danks.
Brad, and Hardy's going to come on to face Eaton. We want the lefty-lefty matchup here. So Chapa faces 2 batters. Tigers go to the bullpen. We'll be back. At Comerica Park for a 2-game series, June 9th and 10th. Both games 7:08 starts. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. Or if you'd like, visit Tigers.com. Check out the Tigers and Cubs at Comerica. So lefty now as Blaine Hardy checks in.
And Hardy has a fastball. He also has a changeup, a curveball, and a slider. And he throws his fastball about 46% of the time, and then he divides up the off-speed pitch. That's the hanging breaking ball there. First pitch to Adam Eaton.
Eaton is just 1 for his last 12 against left-handed pitching. And overall this year, just .217.
On the season, Hardy also has retired that first batter 17 of 22 times coming out of that bullpen.
Little chopper hit to the second baseman. Kinsler on the charge. And Eaton is out of there. Advance the runner to third. And Alexei Ramirez now with a chance with 2 outs.
Hardy's fastball tops out at about 90 miles an hour, but it very seldom does he get there. That's probably his best fastball, 90.
Well, McCann being instructed to go out to the mound. They have the right-hander warming up the bullpen. That is Joakim Soria. Does he want to go to him here in the 8th?
Well, Joakim Soria had a 4-out save earlier this year against the White Sox.
Wilson is out there with him as well. See if this is nothing more than a time buyer here. Ausmus doesn't appear to be moving. And now here he comes. Brad taking all the possible time that he can. We'll see what Brad wants to do here. Soria still throwing. Wilson was up, but he's taking a seat.
I don't think Soria would be in the game unless he was going to bring him in, right?
I agree with you 100%. And now Last
Diaz stomping out to the mound.
Stomping's a good way to put it, man. He's picking him up and laying him down. Brad, like any other manager, trying to buy as much time as he can. Now it looks like finally they're going to make the call to Soria. So Hardy will depart. They're going to bring in their closer to try and get a 4-out save here tonight. Ramirez due up. We'll be back.
Funny encounter. We told you earlier this year Brad Ausmus went to his bullpen and brought his closer out for a 4-out save right here against the Chicago White Sox, and Joakim Soria was very effective that afternoon. Retired all 4 batters that he faced.
Here are the numbers on Soria this year, attempting his 3rd 4-out save. He's got to get Ramirez here with a tying run at third base. That's how badly Brad wants this one here. With the Tigers having lost 7 consecutive games.
Soria has been outstanding this year out of the Tigers bullpen. He has really solidified that closer's role and stabilized that Tigers bullpen.
Ramirez goes up there hacking 0-1.
And right-handers on the season batting only a bucket's change against Soria, 114 to be exact.
Ramirez batting .228. He has a single, a walk, and a run scored tonight. He fouls it back out of play. Now it's 0-2.
Soria's got 4 different pitches. He's got the fastball that can top out at about 92. He's got a changeup, slider, curveball, and a cutter. Not afraid to throw any of the 5 pitches I just mentioned to you.
Whoa, over his head.
That curveball simply slipped out of the hand of Soria. How come that couldn't hit the bat? Go right back to Soria.
I think it's the same thing. One and 2.
Going fastball in.
Ground ball short. Iglesias has the hop, and the throw is over. Soria comes out of the pen, gets the final out of the 8th. Still a 3-2 ball game. And we will go to the 9th. Tigers holding on to a 1-run lead. There is a battery change here for the Chicago White Sox. We'll start with the new pitcher. That is David Robertson.
Robertson has a really good cut fastball, and he will throw that fastball about 70% of the time. He learned that pitch from the great pitcher that he pitched with out of the Yankee bullpen, and that would be Mariano Rivera.
He's pretty good. Kind of a good career.
You think?
A little bit. There's the new catcher, Giovanni Soto. So the Tigers trying to build on their 1-run lead. Putnam was really good in the 8th, struck out the side. Now Robertson here in the 9th.
Hey Nick, you know what's up.
Castellanos been on base twice, single walk. He's knocked one in and scored a run.
Putnam, who pitched the 8th inning, was very good. He struck out the side, and he struck out the middle of the Tigers' order. Mickey, Cespedes, and J.D.
Castellanos to be followed by McCann in this inning, and then Josh Wilson. In there, a strike called. 0-2.
There's a signature pitch. It's a fastball at 92 miles an hour, but it has a lot of cutting action to it. And you take a look at it. In many ways, it's just as effective as a slider.
It'll bounce in.
A lot of pitchers in the big leagues throwing cut fastballs these days. Will Harris of the Houston Astros, his cut fastball usage a little higher than David Robertson's.
Swing and a miss. Castellanos retired.
Here is the 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game, and it came up the last time that McCann stepped in the batter's box. Successful sac bunt. He got the runners into scoring position and set the stage for the newest Tiger, Josh Wilson, who blooped a single in the shallow right field. Great break off second base for Castellanos. He scored the second run after J.D. Martinez touched home plate.
Chicago relievers now have struck out 4 consecutive batters as McCann strolls in. And James had a big sacrifice in the 7th inning. Fouls it off 0-1. Tigers in that 7th got a leadoff single from Martinez, a walk to Castellanos. And then McCann had the sacrifice. Try to hold up. 0-2.
Mostly cutters thrown by Robertson, but every now and then he'll snap off a real nice breaking ball, and you can see that he really had the rookie James McCann fooled on that last breaking ball.
Bounced well in front of the plate. Robertson 39 saves last year for the Yankees in his final season in New York. Played his college ball in Alabama, a teammate of Alex Avila's. 1-2. 2-2. In fact, with the College World Series going on today, the Arkansas game was on in the clubhouse, and of course McCann played at Arkansas. Avila was screaming to turn it to another channel. Of course, he went to Alabama, so he was giving McCann the business.
And I know David Price is looking forward to his alma mater, Vanderbilt, again in the World Series.
Got him, strike 3, and that's 5 straight strikeouts for White Sox pitching. Check in with John Keating now. Preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
Well, Mario, I can say this. It would be novel for us lately to go into a Tigers clubhouse that is beaming with smiles and actually happy to see us and happy to be talking about a Tiger win. It's been too long since that happened. We'll have it for you regardless of what transpired. You'll hear from Brad Ausmus. You'll hear from Kyle Ryan, and you'll hear from Josh Wilson as well, who right now is the Tigers hitting hero, all with Mickey York and Craig Monroe, the Call Sam Studios, right after our game here in Chicago. Gentlemen.
All right, Keats, thanks. Well, maybe it takes the guy playing his first game for the Tigers here tonight to deliver the game-winning hit.
I'll take that.
And it would end a 7-game losing streak for the Tigers if they can get 3 more outs. Here's the 0-1 from Robertson, and it's in there 0-2. 9 strikeouts tonight for Chicago pitching, 5 of them by the bullpen. White Sox will have Abreu, Garcia, LaRoche in the 9th inning, middle of their lineup. Wilson swings and misses. In a 1-2-3 inning, 3 strikeouts for David Robertson. Here we go to the bottom of the 9th. Here comes Soria.
Is a dangerous right-handed batter, but let's take a peek at a confrontation back on May 7th between the two. It was in the 8th inning. It was the final out of that inning. It was a strikeout of Abreu. Everything that Joakim Soria threw him was away. All fastballs, finally climbing the ladder. Huge swing taken by Jose Abreu, but he came up empty.
Well, let's see. It'll be Abreu, Garcia, and LaRoche, and what they've done career against Soria. We'll see who wins this battle here as Abreu stands in. 3-2 in favor of the Tigers. They look to snap a 7-game skid here tonight. And Abreu takes a big rip 0-1.
Soria missed with his location. James McCann was set up inside, and Soria simply threw that ball outside, but he got away with it.
Abreu knocked in a run with a double in the first. A couple of ground balls since. He shoots it foul, back out of play. 0-2.
Abreu was a unanimous Rookie of the Year last year with a .317 batting average, 36 home runs, and he drove in 107.
Soria came on to get the final out of the 8th. Missed high there, 1-2.
If you decide to throw that slow breaking ball to Abreu, you can't miss with it up in the strike zone. You have to make sure that it bounces. Here it comes.
Oh, he got him. Strike 3. Man. He froze him. Abreu could not pull the trigger.
He got away with it. He buckled his knees.
Right at the belt. That thing came in at 68 miles an hour. One out. Here is Avi Garcia, who homered in his last at bat. He made it 3-2. This is his 5th home run of the season.
Before it's all said and done, Garcia is going to make a couple of all-star teams. He has that kind of skill set. Power, speed, good arm, good defender.
This one heading back out of play. Cabrera runs out of room.
Really hasn't touched the surface as how good he's going to be.
Garcia involved in that 3-team deal that eventually brought Jose Iglesias to Detroit. Tigers needed a shortstop a couple of years ago with the PED suspension of Johnny Peralta, so they made the deal giving up Garcia and getting Iglesias. Oh, 0-2 on Garcia.
Here is our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And Joakim Soria has thrown a fastball at 94 here tonight.
That breaking ball he threw to Abreu was the 68-mile-an-hour pitch. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Avisail Garcia. LaRoche waiting on deck. Soria going through the part of the lineup here for the White Sox, and all 3 of them can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias ranging left. Garcia's out, 2 away. Here's Adam LaRoche. Iglesias now has had 8 assists in this game, so he has really been busy. Soria trying to close out this 4-out save. Got one more hurdle to jump, and that's LaRoche, who is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air 3 times. Foul fouled off 0-1. Diaz caught this one.
Laz didn't flinch. Or did he?
No, not really. Right off the leg. Tigers play the shift defensively on the infield. Here's the 0-1. Dribbled in. Deep into right center field.
Rajai going back to the wall. He leaps. He can't get it. It's gone, and we are tied.
Boy, oh boy.
A wall scraper of a home run. It's a 3-3 game.
It's a 94-mile-per-hour fastball on the inner third, and he got way too much plate, especially with the pull-hitting Adam LaRoche standing in the batter's box. Rajai got to the wall, but he got too close to the wall, which meant he couldn't really elevate high enough to jump. When Rajai jumped, he jumped right into the fence.
Tied at 3 on the home run by LaRoche. That was only their 5th hit of the game. 0-1 on Melky Cabrera. He pops it up left side of the infield. To the grass goes Iglesias, and that will end the inning. However, a blown save tonight for Joakim Soria, the home run by Adam LaRoche, which means we go to the 10th. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
Take one more look at Rajai. One of the things you're taught as an outfielder, you try to know how many steps you have once your feet go from the grass to the warning track. So it allows you, if you need to elevate, you can elevate without running into the wall. And Rajai simply ran into the wall. I'm not sure whether he would have caught it or not, but Soria is awfully bummed about it, and you can understand why.
So he came within 1 out of that 4-out save, and the Tigers now find themselves in a 3-3 ball game as we go to the 10th inning. And so Kyle Ryan, who was so good tonight, will not get a victory.
Well, no one said it would be easy. Iglesias, if he's thinking about bunting for a hit, he does have some room down toward third base. Beckham playing about a step and back up the third base bag.
Iglesias skies this one in the air down the left field line, foul ground, and Alexei Ramirez hauls it in, 1 gone. So David Robertson, who came on to strike out the side of the ninth, is also pitching here in the 10th. And Raj Davis will step in. Nine straight retired by the White Sox bullpen in this game. 3 runs, 9 hits. Tigers 3 runs, 5 hits. White Sox. Ball 1 to Davis. Rajay had a triple back in the 3rd, his only hit tonight. He'll get back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the long ball biting the Tigers late in this game. Garcia solo shot on the 7th. And the home run by LaRoche tied it up with 2 outs in the 9th. Rounded back up the middle, diving stab at second by Sanchez. 2 gone.
Pretty nice play here by Sanchez. He leaves his feet, but he gets up in a hurry and had plenty of time to complete the play. It's the 2nd consecutive night the White Sox have played an extra inning game. You know, they lost in Texas last night in 11 innings.
They got home at about 3 a.m. The Tigers got to Chicago in really good shape in the early evening. Kinsler looks at ball 1. Alex Wilson back throwing again in the Tigers bullpen. He was up earlier. Here's the 1-0. Fly ball in the air toward right center. Who wants it? Eaton does, the center fielder, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Robertson, who retires all 6 that he faces late in this game.
Lost a tough one last night in Texas. Chew. They beat the ship. Ramirez playing up the middle, opposite field, single off Dan Jennings.
Well, let's see. White Sox trying to celebrate here tonight. They will try and get it done against Alex Wilson, who will pitch the 10th.
Wilson has been very good out of the Tigers bullpen, and the numbers would validate to me saying that 1.67 earned run average. 16 strikeouts. He's only walked 3, pitching in his 16th game since coming up from Toledo.
Gordon Beckham will start things off. Beckham, Soto, Sanchez due up 7, 8, 9. Strike 1 on Beckham.
And Wilson's got a couple different fastballs. His 4-seamer will top out at about 93. He'll also sink the fastball. Throws changeups, sliders, and cutters.
balls, 2 strikes.
Sounds like we're having some audio issues.
That we are. And they're echoing right now through our headsets. Here's the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Gordon Beckham. Beckham in the ball game. Fly ball, pop up, ground out. Bounce back up the middle. Iglesias across the bag for the out. One away here in the 10th. That'll bring up Soto, who will get his first at bat. He took over for Flowers, who was lifted for a pinch hitter. That is in for a strike. 3 runs, 9 hits for the Tigers. White Sox 3 runs, 5 hits. Oh-2 now on Giovanni Soto.
Slider thrown there by Wilson at 87 miles an hour.
A battle of the bullpens the rest of the way. Little miss outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two is a chopper hit to the shortstop again. Iglesias, this time he backs up to make the play.
What is that, about 10 ground balls that have been hit to Iglesias here tonight?
10 of them.
Wow. Iglesias has very quick feet, and he always puts himself in the best position to get the best hop. He charges that one, then he realizes he needs to back up 1 or 2 steps to make it an easier play for him. Also, knowing who the runner was, Soto doesn't run that route.
So here is Carlos Sanchez. And you look at ball 1. Tigers trying to get it to the 11th where they have the middle of the lineup. Brano, Cespedes, Martinez. Seal back toward the corner, not a play. One ball and 1 strike on Carlos Sanchez. Tigers fell behind by 1, then took the lead 3-1, but a couple of late homers for the White Sox. Inside, almost hit him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still undergoing some audio issues that we're trying to correct. Here's a 2-2. Bouncer right back to the mound. Wilson has it, and that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. 10 in the books here in Chicago. Let's go to the 11th. Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Well, we go extra innings here tonight. Tigers and the Chicago White Sox will get you caught up on what happened earlier in this game. Jose Abreu doubled in a run in the first inning to give the White Sox the lead, but Castellanos was able to tie it up in the fourth.
And then you have McCann. He had a clutch base hit, bunt for sacrifice, I should say. Josh Wilson drove in a couple of runs, and then the last couple of runs scored by the Chicago White Sox on solo home runs. One by Garcia, and the right fielder, and the other one by the first baseman, Adam LaRoche. That last one, 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Homer in the 7th, homer in the 9th. That's why we are going to the 11th. Jake Petrichka will take over now onto the bullpen for the White Sox. Here are those numbers again against Petrichka.
Yeah, Petrichka has a .424 earned run average, 12 strikeouts, and 6 walks in 20 games, and he has done his best work right here at U.S. Cellular Field. His home earned run average is .174.
He's going to have to go through the middle of the Tigers lineup. Cabrera, Cespedes, and Martinez. 2-0 the count on Miguel. 3 out of 7, a couple of punch outs against Petrichka in the career of Miguel Cabrera.
And Petrichka's got a big arm. His fastball tops out at 95. He'll also sink the fastball at 94. He's got a changeup and a slider that he'll also use, and primarily to the right-handed batters.
Miggy lines one right to the second baseman, Sanchez. An absolute rocket right at him. Bit of fortune there for Petrichka. That's going to be 12 in a row retired by the Sox bullpen tonight. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. Single double run scored tonight for Cespedes. Ball 1 low and away. Petrichka follows Robertson, who went 2 innings and retired all 6 that he faced. Zach Putnam also struck out the side in the 8th. So they've gotten some good work out of their bullpen. And it was a bullpen that was struggling, at least in recent games, for the White Sox.
Overall, their numbers aren't pretty as far as their bullpen is concerned, with the exception of their closer, Robertson.
Here's the 2-0. Bouncing ball to short. Ramirez throws out Cespedes, and there are 2 gone. It's 13 straight retired. Well, tomorrow, Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns. The Rangers take on the Royals. Then it's baseball night in America right here. Game 2 as the Tigers take on the White Sox. Coverage begins at 1:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1. Here now is J.D. Martinez. In there, strike 1 on Martinez. J.D. got the party started in the 7th with a base hit. Tigers would score 2 in the 7th to go on 3-1. But the lead would not hold up. Now it's 0-2.
Minnesota and both Kansas City have lost their games tonight. So if the Tigers would somehow pull this one out, they would gain a game on both of those teams.
Would be nice. Royals have not been playing good baseball lately.
They have not been hitting. Their hitting was off the chain early, but it is slowed down lately, and wins have been hard for them to come by.
They'll get back out of play. 1-2. The count stays on Martinez. Petrichka had 14 saves last year, which is more than any American League rookie. Now Martinez waits on the 1-2.
The White Sox probably went into the offseason thinking that Patricia was going to be their closer. And then Andrew Miller signed with the New York Yankees, and then Robertson became available.
Robertson going through 2 scoreless in this ball game tonight. 1-2 is low. 2-2. White Sox will have the top of their lineup coming up when we get to the bottom of the 11th. Almost hit him. 3-2 now on J.D. Martinez. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. 4 perfect innings for the White Sox pen. 14 straight have gone down overall. Chicago. Some news to know. Did you hear about Pat Venditti? Made his major league debut today. The first ambidextrous pitcher since Greg Harris back in 1995. Jock Peterson's last 6 games, 5 home runs. Matt Wieters is off the disabled list today. He underwent Tommy John surgery and made his season debut, 2 for 3 with a double.
And no doubt Wieters will help out the Baltimore Orioles team.
So here come the Sox now as we go to the bottom of the 11th, top of the order. And it's a ball outside to Adam Eaton. Eaton is 0 for 3. 3 ground balls and a strikeout. That'll be high and away, and the count goes 2-0. Wilson came on in the 10th and faced the bottom of the order. Got him 1-2-3. And he missed again. 3-0 on the leadoff man, Adam Eaton. Ramirez, then Abreu to follow here in the bottom of the 11th. That's it for a strike, 3-1. In there again, 3-2 on Eaton, trying to get his way on any way he can. Tigers tonight have had Jabba pitch out of the pen along with Soria, and now Wilson. Bouncing ball right side. Miggy has to go off the glove. Kinsler not in time. Leadoff man is on.
Once this ball was not caught cleanly by Miguel, who left his feet, you knew it was going to be very difficult to get Adam Eaton, even though Ian Kinsler pounced on it. Nice job by Wilson getting there, but not before the speedy Eaton crossed the bag.
So the winning run is on now for Chicago. That is ruled a base hit. 6th hit of the night for the White Sox. We'll bring up Alexei Ramirez.
Alexei has the ability to sacrifice, but if he did so, they would simply walk Jose Abreu, so he might be up there swinging right now.
He is, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. Robin Ventura not too crazy about having the bat taken out of Abreu's hands.
Yeah, Tigers still have a couple of bases open, although you'd hate to walk Abreu to put a runner in scoring position. You just have to pitch to him very carefully.
White Sox got a run in the 7th to make it 3-2. Then the 2-out homer by LaRoche in the 9th made it 3-3. It's fouled off and now 0-2.
It looks like Alexei trying to hit it out himself. A healthy swing taken at the slider. And thrown by Wilson.
Wilson got 3 ground ball outs in the 10th. Back up the middle into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Eaton is on his way to third, and he is in there standing up.
Well, you got to walk the bases loaded now, which would give you a force at any base, and you can't allow Abreu to beat you here, so you got to put him on. Ball hit sharply right back up the middle. Rajay did the right thing, throwing the ball to second base.
So Abreu is not going to get a chance to hit here with runners at first and third.
And Tigers in jeopardy of dropping their 8th consecutive game, which has not been done in a decade.
Think about that for a minute. 2005, the last time that happened. So Abreu will be intentionally walked here. And the White Sox will have the bases loaded with nobody out.
And the former Tiger, Avisail Garcia, who's already homered in this game, will be the batter. As good as he is and as much talent as he has, he still allows the game to speed up on him in situations like these. And let's hope that's one of these cases.
There's ball 3 to Abreu.
Adam LaRoche in the on-deck circle with some words of encouragement for Garcia, probably telling him, just as I told you, slow the game down and make Wilson make a mistake.
Jeff Jones coming out now with the bases loaded, nobody out. Eaton got it started with an infield single. Alexei Ramirez base hit up the middle. And Avisail Garcia, the former Tiger, trying to do in his old team. Got Vlad Diaz out to the mound again. Brad Ausmus brought in Soria to get the final out of the 8th. He got 2 outs in the 9th, and then the home run by LaRoche tied it up. Wilson in a heap of trouble here in the 11th inning. Infield in for the Tigers. are the 3 White Sox runners. Outfield coming in as well. They are shallow. And Garcia takes ball 1. Some teams, I know Mike Scioscia likes to do this, bring in a 5-man infield, but the Tigers are keeping all 3 of their outfielders out there.
Yeah, we haven't seen Brad do that in the 1+ years he's been our skipper.
Here's the 1-0. Checked it, fouled it back, 1-1.
They got a guy managing on the south side, on the other side of Chicago. Joe Madden, Cubs manager, he does it with regularity.
Garcia 1 for 4, batting .300 on the year. Strike called, and the count is 1-2.
No need in throwing Garcia a strike here. Good cut fastball. They're away from Garcia. You want to climb the ladder, see if he'll swing and miss at a fastball up. You've got a couple of pitches to work with.
Oh, he hit him. He hit Garcia, and the game is over.
Unbelievable.
Now I've seen it all.
Unbelievable.
Avisail Garcia is hit by the pitch, and the White Sox have won this game. A 2-out home run in the 9th inning to tie it, and a bases loaded hit batter in the 11th to win it. Brad coming out to talk to Raj Davis. That pitch hit Avi Garcia in the forearm, and that's going to be it. Here's another look.
Yeah, it's hard for him to even celebrate. He's in so much pain right now.
Wow. Just wow. A walk-off hit by pitch. And Wilson can't believe it just happened. The White Sox get a win here in the 11th inning with the bases loaded after tying the game with 2 outs and nobody on in the 9th. And it's Avi Garcia that gets the game-winning RBI. He hit a home run in the 7th as well. There's your final score in 11, 4-3. Chicago will be back.